That is cool. $20 George Michael. Not too bad though. It's pretty cool. I'd buy it depending on the price. Jesus Christ Superstar. But it's actually, it's in a case for one thing. I can't see the price on it. $20. It's not bad. It's a collector's. Okay, now this right here is old school. For old school teaching. Like all math teachers had this in their classroom. If you remember studying math, they had those translucent things that go over with a little green marker, a little red marker to show the negative or whatever, or different color markers. Go on all day. Sit there and watch it project on the wall. Pretty cool Swiss Army knife. Just found out the Avengers made the most out of any movie. It's in the billions, the amount of money that the Avengers has made. It's better, it even beats Star Wars.
She's gone away. Like, where did my mommy go? Because I remember the boots right here. I was looking at these.
Wonderful. Highly recommend this place. Linda got a $1.62 crab chain for her grandma, and there it is right there. It's called Antique or Mid-Cities Antique Mall. It's pretty cool. And never forget that Jesus is the reason for the season.
A crab for crabby grandma.
For her grandma. Hi, Grandma. So I kind of tell you what I'm doing. So I got one through the delivery app, and just to verify to make sure everything's correct, I did speak the name of the restaurant into Google, and Google search, and then of course it pulled up, and that's what Google Maps got me. Now that's to verify it. Also, the in-app of the delivery, they use Waze usually, and Waze is correct this time. But I've had many instances where Waze gives you options on the address, and at times it has got me lost. Now, this has happened over the last couple of days. This one, not the case. So it was right on this one. I'm actually trying to go left. This guy's slowing down as I'm slowing down. I don't know if he's coming to a stop though. Looks like he's probably turning left. Okay. So anyway, that's basically how it works on that one. So, okay, I want you to look at it right there. Look at that. Do you see what it did? Okay, now I have that on video. Okay, don't know why it would do that. Now I'm going to switch over back to Google Maps, and you can see, you can hear Waze chirping, and it's asking me to go somewhere. But I know that Google Maps has brought me here. Okay, so I don't know why it's doing that. If you know why, leave a comment. You can see Waze in here. This is Google Maps right here. Okay, Google Maps detached. Okay, so it's here though. I know it's here because I saw it through Google Maps. The name of the joint that I'm picking the food up at, I don't know yet. I do know it because I saw it, but I don't remember it right now. But I'm headed towards it right now, even though it doesn't show it. Now this one, it's saying that it's different. It's saying it's a different address. So, don't know why it would do that. So if anybody knows, leave a comment. You can see it's relatively close. But why it's doing that, I don't know. So, I'm gonna go down this way and see exactly why it's doing that. And then I'll get you the name of the restaurant. All right, so overshot it just a little bit, but this is correct. The reason why it looks a little funny is because the mapping on it looks funny when you're in the, depending on which direction you're facing in the parking lot. So it's saying 500 feet, which is correct. That one's saying 750 feet because it's turned around. So between the two, Google is more correct. And Waze is Google though, but it was purchased by Google. So it's saying 300 feet, which is correct. It's right over there. And you can see Waze looks a little weird. So I'm probably gonna give this one to Google. That's correct on finding out where I'm going. So this is kind of a competition between Google and Waze. And at times, I'm finding that Google's probably a little bit better. Because if you're looking at them right here, you can see it's showing it over there. See? It's showing the restaurant over there. This one is showing the restaurant in the right direction. That is really big to us, so we have to know the exact location. And you're seeing Waze. Let's look at Waze again. Yeah, Waze, it's showing behind me. See? And Google, it's showing ahead of me. And that's the name of the restaurant, the Colossal. So you can see the difference. So this one, the winner goes to Google Maps. Because you can see the way that I'm facing, there's the restaurant. Now, I'm gonna switch it over. Where's the restaurant? It's showing it on the other side of the highway. It's actually showing it on the same side, but it's showing it by that Wazer right there. And that's not accurate. So they need to update Waze. And Google's probably trying to help Waze. You know, that's why they bought them. But they need to do a lot of work on Waze. But anyway, so that's the Colossal right there. And also it says you have arrived, which I like that too. So anyway, pretty cool. You grab a whip for that.
I'm sorry.
No peppers and no onions on it. Does he want mayo on that?
right. Well, I'm standing here at the Bedford Harwood Jack in the Box. They do not honor the coupons that are on all of the receipts. So we're gonna go to the other Jack in the Box and ask them if they honor the coupon for buy one, get one free Supreme Croissant. We're gonna find out. I told them, hey, you know what? You're speaking to the media today. So we're gonna find out. Well, we got one at Golden Chick. It's like if you go to Golden Chick and get yourself 20 tenders and rolls for $30, $29.99. For all those that like to save a penny. This is the road I was raised in, my earliest memories. Right off Hurstview. And I remember this tower, this water tower from Hearst Tower being exactly the same. I took driver's ed right over there. But I wasn't raised on this street for very long. I was actually raised on this street until I was about maybe 4 years old. And then my whole family, my mom and my dad, my sister, everybody, we all moved to Keller, which is now Southlake. The Southlake area, but at the time it was Keller. And then they kind of split it into Carroll and Keller, and then they eventually called it Southlake, and now they call it Westlake. But this was the first place that we lived. My earliest memories of this place. And for some reason I remember an alien doll, like that movie Aliens. I remember it in my room. The only thing is it doesn't match up with the time, because I was born in 73. Look at this right here. That was our neighbor right there. We lived, and there was still a truck outside. My dad had a truck. I don't know if it was a Ford, but I cut my eye on the back of the license plate of the truck. We lived right there. Right there. You can still see the scars like right here. It wasn't really my eye, it was more like sister and I were playing on the back of the truck, and I guess I slipped. Maybe it was, you know, wet outside or whatever, but I slipped on the back bumper of the truck and I cut myself on the license plate of the back of the truck. I guess my sister saw it, so I wouldn't have remembered how it happened. And they rushed me to Dr. Golden's right down the road right here, and he stitched me up. I was probably maybe 4. I still remember it, just like it was yesterday. Maybe 3.5 or 4. I was very little. I went to preschool right down this way. I remember some of the preschool. And what's interesting about memory is I remember a time when I didn't remember a certain incident. So I was in preschool, and we made these clay ashtrays. And we had to do show and tell, but we also did it for the parents and the teachers. So the parents were to show up. This was preschool. This was like pre-kindergarten. And I remember going up to where the ashtrays, or they were clay ashtrays, and the teacher saying, well, look what Cole made. And I remember looking up at the teacher and I said, I didn't make this. The reason why I didn't remember is because they baked them. I just figured it out. They baked them. We made them out of clay. So we made the ashtrays out of clay. The teachers took them to be baked. So when they were done, it was this school right here. The school was on the other side of this Methodist church. You can't really see it. But anyway, when they were done, they didn't look the same when they came out of the oven. Because when you bake an ashtray, before it's just clay. It's only clay. So when it goes inside the oven, it roasts and it turns different colors and it's a different shape. So really it was about me having a great memory, because I did not remember something that I didn't see before. Meaning I remembered the ashtrays as being clay and soft and probably blue, probably the color blue. when it came out of the oven, it was a different color. All of them were like different colors when they came out of the oven. So they had this little oven they could bake them in. I guess they had them there. It was craft work. We were doing craft work. But I remember being honest, because the teacher said, look what Cole did. And I had to be honest. I don't remember doing that. Sorry. I remember shaking my head going, I didn't do that. Because I was trying to tell the teacher that the last time I saw that little piece of artwork of that ashtray, it was clay, and it was not a ceramic style ashtray looking thing. It was probably when they made it, probably my dad used it, because my dad was a smoker. He smoked a couple packs a day back then. He was working for the railroad, I think, then. It's right before he started his business, got into jewelry. He started making jewelry. He later became a craftsman himself in making jewelry, where they did molding and casting and things like that, but they did that with gold and silver and sometimes diamonds. Man, that school's over there. It was a preschool. It's probably still a preschool today, but it was an interesting preschool. But I remember, the teacher saying, do you remember doing this? And I went, no, because I didn't put it in the oven. I only saw the after effects of what I made. And I am still that way today. If I do any kind of artwork or anything and I don't see the after effects of it, or I don't see that it goes into the oven and it comes out of the oven and you can see what it looks like, then I don't remember it. It's interesting. Well, here's some trees right here. You can see the trees. Oh, nice. I don't see all these shots. I edit it, but I lay it out and I don't see everything. I see a lot of it though. When I went to NYU for one day of film class, because I studied a class at NYU for one day in filmmaking, we did 3-point lighting. We did a class in 3-point lighting. I remember that the filmmaker teacher or the cinema teacher or whatever said that the reason you're a filmmaker is not because of the big success and the amount of money that comes about and all that stuff, but they saw this filmmaker that did this stuff on the Olympics. She was a lady. She was filming these Olympic divers. They were these divers. And when they did a documentary about her, and when they filmed her, seeing the reactions of what she once filmed, she became very excited. And tears were in her eyes because she remembered filming them on these diving boards for the Olympics. She was an older lady at the time. Her eyes were like full of tears because she was so excited that that footage was found. He said, that's the reason why you're a filmmaker, is because of that kind of stuff. I'll try downloading the Dairy Queen app to see if they had any offers, but they wouldn't even let me finish signing up for it because it kept asking me to press on my favorite Dairy Queen and it wouldn't let me press on it. So I went ahead and uninstalled the Dairy Queen app. But I'm headed to a nearby Jack in the Box to see if they take the coupon. I don't see why they wouldn't. The other one did. But the guy said, oh, my boss said you can't take the coupon. He was the guy that gave me the 4 tacos the other day, though, so he was a nice guy. But then today, I guess, not going to be a nice guy. So we're going to go by the Jack in the Box and say, well, look, I filled this out. I got a little code. But can I use it? Well, the other one had, asked me the code. What's the code on the receipt? So we'll have to figure it out. Well, apparently at this one they honor it, so $3.78 for Jumbo Jack and a Supreme. So it's a pretty good deal. Right, you can see here, I only paid $3.78, and they gave me 2 of them, which are in there. So pretty good deal. This is basically what the croissant looks like. Well, we all know what a Jumbo Jack looks like, the Jumbo Jacks. Let's see. You can't really, but it's in there. Let me see if I can show it. I'll just show it real quick. This is what it looks, the packaging looks like. And then this is basically a croissant sandwich. It's like a breakfast sandwich. This is like the, it's a breakfast. This one's basically, let's see if I can show it. This is what it looks like right there. That's the Jumbo Jack. It's more of a hamburger. I didn't even know that. I thought the other day the Jumbo Jack was a breakfast sandwich. It was actually a hamburger. This is the breakfast sandwich. A little watery, but good. It's edible for breakfast. They have a good breakfast there. It's not bad at all. Just that one was the egg was a little watery, but pretty good. It's really not bad at all. You can taste the egg. Tastes like a breakfast. I haven't had breakfast in a while. Breakfast is probably the meal I usually never eat. I do like breakfast. I gotta think about breakfast. I do like breakfast, don't get me wrong. I don't eat a lot of breakfast. Now, the time when I did eat breakfast every morning was when I worked for the day shift at Hardwood in Guilford, Maine. But I moved to Dover Foxcroft, and I'd make myself at least 1 to 2 eggs a day. Either boil them, or I would fry them up, you know, sunny side or whatever, and have just maybe like some toast. And I had that every morning. I'd get up like at 5 in the morning or 6 in the morning, and then I'd feed my cat Romeo, and then of course Mojo, my other cat. I had 2 cats. I went to Maine with 2 cats. But I'd have breakfast a lot there. I guess it was cold weather, and you have to get up and snow shovel, so you get yourself breakfast and you start snow shoveling. Because every morning you'd have to snow shovel during the winter time around this time, which is December. This is December time. So in Maine it would be snowing, and I've heard it's gotten really bad. But you'd snow shovel for like an hour, you know, get your car ready to go, and you have the car running and all this stuff. I mean, it was a nightmare. Well, I started writing a book.